Hey, good morning guys from Colorado. Well, this was my camp last night. Wasn't my planned camp. I kind of got myself in an increment last night. All I needed to do is get up in that clearing there and I would have been good. Well, just got back from the auto parts store. Well, on my way back to go find a place to work on this thing. Well, worked on the van today a little bit. The idle's a little bit choppy right now. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Well, we got the old one off now. I guess I don't actually have to do it right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it while I'm here in Colorado still and make sure it actually is the problem. I just spent $100 on the part, so I like to see that check engine light go off. I actually made it all the way up to, you can kind of see where the track stopped right there. I made it all the way up there, but once I got stuck, I pretty much knew that I wasn't gonna be able to go forward anymore, so I started backing up. I was caught right in here. I got sucked into the side of the ditch here. That's the worst part about it right now. Hugging the side of the berm here, or the ditch or whatever. I got right here. I'm just trying to get back on the main road, and there's an old army truck up there with the plow. There's a guy that lives on top of the mountain. I'm kind of hoping he comes down today, but I'm not counting on it.
It's a trend, it's a friend, it's a memory.
Well, working on making a turnaround point right now. Got a rescue team coming tonight, so when they get here, I'm thinking they'd drive up the hill, have a place to turn around, and then pull me out, and then I'll have a place to turn around and get out of here. Well, we got the old one off now. Should be cooking breakfast in about 10 minutes. Hey, good morning guys. Get that cleaned up a little bit. Coming at you from Northern California. Well, I was originally going to go to Idaho and look at a few gold dredging spots, but after running into problems in Idaho as far as mechanical problems with the van and getting stuck with the van, well, I was actually on my way to Idaho and I decided, well, I'm just going to keep heading west on the interstate and head to Northern California because that's where I wanted to be the most. So, good morning from Northern California. So, regarding the whole situation with the van getting stuck, you definitely got to stay positive and think of the best thoughts. I had a rescue team coming, had a buddy in Colorado that was putting together a group of a couple guys to come rescue me and get me unstuck, but turns out I didn't need it. I just want to give a quick shout out to you guys and thank you guys for dropping what you were going to be doing to come rescue me. Well, it turns out the guy who lived on top of the mountain ended up coming down in his all-wheel drive car, and he ended up cruising right around my van. Well, he got stuck. We had to dig him out, but it wasn't too bad. We were able to dig his car out, and then he was able to pull me out with his car. So definitely got to stay positive and think good thoughts there. Glad that he was able to come pull me out. I didn't have to wait all night to be pulled out. So, regarding the whole van situation and its mechanical issues that it's having right now, I'll pop the hood here and show you what it's doing. So you can see I have the mass airflow connector disconnected right here. And here's the thing that I don't get about it. Here, I'll go plug it in for you real quick, and I'll fire the van up real quick. Doesn't do, well, there's doing it. Now watch this. Alright, so I pulled it out now. It's cold, so it's running a little bit high on RPM, but I'm not going to plug it back in until I start it again. But here's the funny thing about the van. If you start the van without this sensor plugged in, and once the van's running, you plug it in, the van runs just like it should. However, if you plug that sensor in like it should be all the time, and you go and drive the van, you start it up, and you don't manually pull out while the van's running and push it back in while the van's running. If I put the connector right in here, shut the hood, started the van, and drove down the road, what would happen is I would come up to stop signs, or I would come up to stoplights, and I would have to leave 1 foot on the gas and 1 foot on the brake to leave the van running. Otherwise, the RPMs fall way below normal running level, and you gotta sit there and feather with the gas until the RPMs get high enough to accelerate again. And it sits there and idle and is just sputtering. So I don't get it. I took it to town when I was in Leadville and found an O'Reilly's, and they put their scan tool on it because the service engine soon light's on right now, and it comes up as the mass airflow sensor. So I went to town when I was, like I said, when I was there in Leadville, I found the O'Reilly's. Here's the old mass airflow sensor. Well, since when I got the service engine light scanned, I had them plug their scan tool in. Well, the service engine light read that it was the mass airflow sensor. I bought a new mass airflow sensor and changed it out. I put the new one in, and the van was running great. And I was driving down the road, it was doing what it was supposed to be doing. I thought, hey, I got the van problem fixed, sweet. Well, when I stopped at the gas station and stopped to get gas, the exact same thing started happening. So that's when I realized that I probably just wasted $100. Still kind of a little bit upset about that deal, but what do you do about it? So I got out of the gas station when I found out the vehicle was having the same problems. I said, you know what, just for the heck of it, I'm going to try something. The vehicle was running, so I went ahead and I pulled the sensor out, and immediately after I did that, I could tell that it was running the way that it was supposed to be running. So I didn't want to drive down the road with the sensor out. The vehicle was still running, so I plugged it back in, and it still continued to run fine. So in the meantime, I've been starting the vehicle up without the sensor in, and then when the vehicle's running, I go ahead and put it in, and it runs down the road like it's supposed to be doing. It's a little bit annoying because every time I shut the vehicle off, I gotta come out underneath the hood, I gotta pull the sensor, and I gotta go through the whole deal again. When really, you should just be able to leave the sensor plugged in. When I was in Colorado, I was Googling it, and I was researching what it could be, and there's a valve back here called the EGR valve. It's actually right there, my finger's pointing down at it, and there's just 2 bolts that hold it in. Exhaust gas regulator valve. Well, I pulled off the valve, and the valve looked good. They're known to get kind of dirty down there, and then they get stuck shut. Well, this one looked pretty good. The valve was going up and down like it should. It didn't look overly dirty or anything. I guess it could still be broke, and mechanical functions of it could be fine, but when they threw the scan tool on the computer, it was coming up as the mass airflow sensor. So I'm not quite sure yet. So, I'm getting ready to go to town right now. Hopefully I can find an internet service to upload some videos. But let me show you around camp real quick. Usually when I come here, I park right in here. But it's kind of a goofy angle for sleeping in the van, so I decided just to pull out there, and that's been working pretty good. I call this the backyard of camp right here. In the past, I've set a tent up right back in here. Actually, right back in there. So, it's got some pretty beautiful scenery around here. There's the view out of the backyard. Got the river right there. I actually have my gold mining stuff. I'm actually working right inside those trees over there. And I'll take you guys over there later and show you what's going on. There's another little pretty sweet campsite here too I'll make a video of sometime later. Surrounded by a canopy of trees. I love it. So, look from here. So today, it's been a few plus days since I've been in town. This is actually the place where my truck got stuck years ago. I have the all-wheel drive van now, and she's doing a pretty good job. First thing I did when I got here was I drove down the road, turned around, and made sure I could get back up, and good deal. So the van's working good as far as that goes, and it's running good after you do that mechanical whole pulling the sensor deal. I got some trim right here. And you can see that bottom piece of trim came off right there. The mountains have been kind of rough on the van so far. She's been taking a little bit of a beating. Between the Colorado mountains and getting stuck, and I glued it back on. I glued the trim back on. I even had Even had a screw in it here. But I'll show you guys a road to come in and out of here. Somebody had like a 450-pound tree stump, 400-pound, 500-pound tree stump sitting right down on the road, so you couldn't get in down at the bottom part. The hardest part of the road to get up is the part going up from the second half of the drive up. It comes down and then it does a switchback and it comes back down. I came down when I first got here, turned around and made sure I could get back up because that's the hardest part of the road. Well, then I come down, I drive down the road, I switch back, come all the way down into the landing here, and there's a big 400, 500-pound tree stump sitting right in the way. That was kind of caused the whole issue in itself, but I ended up getting the tree stump moved. But that's when the trim came back off again. So, I'll fill you guys in on that later. For the meantime, I'm heading to town right now. It's been a few plus days, and I think I might have a credit card bill due. So, gonna go to town and check that and do the old Facebook thing and tell everybody that I'm still alive. I'm out here in the mountains and I'm still alive. I'm doing good. So guys, yeah, that's the plan today, is to head to town and find some service for the phone and the internet, and then head back out here to camp. Alright guys, that's what's been going on. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk at you in the next one.